Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, Donald Trump has been furious with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And just when you thought he couldn't be more mad at her, he is. She actually did a 60-minute interview and she really dragged him and the Republican Party. So he went over the edge. So he is really mad at her now. And he expressed it, of course, where else? On Truth Social. So you're going to see how everything unfolded and see all of the big divisions on the right. They are so divided, it's not even funny. And they are just letting it rip right now. And I'm just loving it. I'm just loving their divisions. Y'all just keep right on going. It's definitely entertainment for me. So, before we get started, just a reminder that there is a sale on my Etsy site. You go to lisacrafts.etsy.com. So, the sale began on the 5th of December through the 24th. You get 30% off. The promo code is Cyber30, but it already took 30% off the price. So even if you don't use the promo code, you will still get the 30% off of the products. So you still have plenty of time to grab the items you want. As I stated before, the butter, the banana oil, and the edge growth butter will be coming back this week. All right. So I have been working on each one of those things. You will see those things this week. All right. So make sure you come back and stock up on your favorite items. Okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. Thank you. Okay.
You contributed to that. You were out there pounding, insulting people.
Lesley, you've contributed to it as well with your own
Me?
program. Yes, you're accusatory, just like you did just then.
I know you're accusing me, but I'm
You're
smiling.
accusing me,
I am accusing
but we
you.
don't have to accuse one another.
I want you to respond to what you have done in terms of insulting people, yelling at people, and then saying,
I'd like for you to respond for that.
I
No,
don't-
you can respond
I
to
don't
that.
insult people.
You do, in the way you question, and you're accusing me right now. They're terrified to step out of line and get a nasty Truth Social post on them. Yes.
Behind the scenes, do they talk differently?
Yes.
How?
Oh, it would shock people.
Well, let's shock people.
Okay. I watched many of my colleagues go from making fun of him, making fun of how he talks, making fun of me constantly for supporting him, to when he won the primary in 2024, they all started, excuse my language, Lesley, kissing his ass and decided to put on a MAGA hat for the first time. The subject line for the direct death threats on my son was his words, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Those
So
are death threats
you
directly
blame-
fueled by President Trump. I told him, I told JD Vance, I told them all, sent those directly to them.
And
Yeah,
response?
JD Vance replied back to me, we'll look into it. I got response back from President Trump that I will keep private, but it wasn't very nice.
Give us a hint of what the president said.
It was extremely unkind. We did talk about the Epstein files, and he was extremely angry at me that I had signed the discharge petition to release the files. I fully believe that those women deserve everything they're asking. They're asking for all of it to come out. They deserve it. And he was furious with me.
What did he say?
He said that it was going to hurt people.
You decided not to stay and fight. You decided to give in.
After President Trump called me a traitor, I got a pipe bomb threat on my house, and then I got several direct death threats on my son.
On your son.
On my son.
You say the president put your life in danger. You blame him. You say he fueled a hotbed of threats against me, and that you blame him for the threats against your son.
The subject line for the direct death threats on my son was his words, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Those
So
are death threats directly
blame-
fueled by President Trump. I told him, I told JD Vance, I told them all, sent those directly to them.
And
Yeah,
response?
JD Vance replied back to me, we'll look into it. I got response back from President Trump that I will keep private, but it wasn't very nice.
Give us a hint of what the president said.
It was extremely unkind.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
4 more years.
This new intense vitriol between them is jarring, considering she's been one of the president's most passionate and loyal foot soldiers, often in a red MAGA hat. She voted with him 98% of the time.
We're going to re-elect our favorite president, the greatest president in United States history, Donald J. Trump. Right, Georgia?
Progressives, blue cities, blue states. And Marjorie Taylor Greene smiled and cheerled every step of the way. She doesn't have a lot of credibility here in terms of, she doesn't have the moral high ground. She contributed to this mess, and it should be pointed out to her. It has been pointed out to her, and should be continued. Like, hey, you were not only part of this, you were a major part of this. This is in part your fault, and you should feel shame and guilt and a sense of impropriety. I will point out that when she was asked about this on CNN about a month ago, I think, about the role she played in divisive politics, she admitted she screwed up and she apologized. That's good. That's really good. I still can't imagine what that would be like. Not just her anger at Trump, but at herself, knowing that she played a role in this.
Those
So
are death threats
you
directly
blame-
fueled by President Trump. I told him, I told JD Vance, I told them all, sent those directly to them.
And
Yeah.
response?
JD Vance replied back to me, we'll look into it. I got response back from President Trump that I will keep private, but it wasn't very nice.
Give us a hint of what the president said.
It was extremely unkind. After
So that makes it even worse. So she does the smart thing. She's like, hey, look, you all are saying this shit, and it's impacting not just me, but my son, my children. Stop doing it. Can't imagine they looked that very hard into it. So JD Vance doesn't get really any credit for me. But for her to say that Trump gave an unkind response, again, it's not that I have a ton of sympathy or empathy for Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a 50-year-old woman. She should have known better. And again, part of her path to redemption, if there's redemption for her, and I believe there's possibility, she should do what Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger did. You were allies of Trump. You turned the other way, despite his obvious personality deficits. Every liberal predicted this. You should have shut the fuck up and listened to every liberal about this, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, when they told you this was coming.
A reading from the book of Donald Trump. The only reason Marjorie Taylor Greene turns brown under stress went bad is that she was jilted by the President of the United States. Certainly not the first time she has been jilted. Too much work, not enough time, and her ideas are now really bad. She sort of reminds me of a rotten apple. Marjorie is not America First or MAGA, because nobody could have changed her views so fast, and her new views are those of a very dumb person. That was proven last night when washed up, Trump hating 60 Minutes correspondent Lesley Stahl, who still owes me an apology from when she attacked me on the show with serious conviction that Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was produced by Russia, not Hunter himself. Totally proven wrong. Interviewed a very poorly prepared traitor who, in her confusion, made many really stupid statements. My real problem with the show, however, wasn't the low IQ traitor. It was that the new ownership of 60 Minutes, Paramount, would allow a show like this to air. They are no better than the old ownership, who just paid me millions of dollars for fake reporting about your favorite president. Me! Since they bought it, 60 Minutes has actually gotten worse. Oh well, for worse things can happen. P.S. I hereby demand a complete and total apology, though far too late to be meaningful, from Lesley Stahl and 60 Minutes for her incorrect and libelous statements about Hunter's laptop, President DJT. Ha ha! So saith the Lord.
Last night, Marjorie Taylor Greene gave an interview with 60 Minutes where she bashed the president. Let's get into it. Greene, who recently announced her resignation from Congress, did the 60-minute interview where she aired her grievances against President Trump. She accused the president of abandoning his America First agenda. She accused him of catering to major industries and big donors. She said Republican members of Congress are terrified to criticize him publicly. She did say the president was angry at her for her support of the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files. She said the president stated that this would hurt a lot of people. It was basically a 1 hour interview where they had a Trump bash fest. Did you watch the interview? If so, let me know in the comments what your thoughts were on it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful Monday. God bless each of you.
Hey, Marjorie, I hear that you have upset Donald J. Trump because of the things you said about him yesterday on your 60 Minutes interview. He is demanding an apology from Lesley Stahl and 60 Minutes because you got up there talking your truth about how you and your son received death threats after he called you a traitor, using Trump's own words. And according to you, his response that he sent back to you when you sent him your death threats, it wasn't very nice. See, this is where I have a problem. You've been in his corner until you decided you needed to take a step back. And the minute that you did, he turned on you, just like he turns on everybody else, because there is no loyalty from him. And you're talking about the hate and the vitriol that's coming your way when you have been a big proponent of where we are at. Lesley Stahl called you out on that. But your mouth and your actions is why we are at where we are at right now. Doesn't feel so good when those tables are turned, does it, Marjorie? But here's the thing to CBS and Lesley Stahl. Stop platforming her. She is her own hate monger. I don't buy this newfound religion of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Trust and believe There's a purpose to everything that she is saying and doing. And it's not because all of a sudden she had a come to Jesus moment. But as always, I'm sending peace, love, and good vibes. Have a great night.
We have some news right now. Possible trouble for 60 Minutes and CBS News. Donald Trump is furious. He's demanding another apology from Lesley Stahl and 60 Minutes and CBS following last night's interview with Marjorie Taylor Greene. He went on a whole rant this morning on Truth Social talking about how 60 Minutes is no better now under this new ownership structure, even though this is the ownership structure he wanted with Paramount and Skydance, the whole merger, and Barry Weiss taking over at CBS. But he's furious after they aired an interview with Marjorie Taylor Greene, showing her essentially blasting Donald Trump for not standing with her, not standing with the America First movement, and much more. And also the fact that Republicans are mocking him behind his back. He's also furious at Lesley Stahl for what he calls a lie about Hunter Biden's laptop and is demanding an apology this morning from Lesley Stahl and 60 Minutes after that show aired last night. He just posted this rant on Truth Social. We'll see what happens next. Spread the word. Follow along, stay up to date on all the news that you need to know about. More to come soon.
So for someone who claims that she's resigning, Marjorie Taylor Greene, well, she's acting like she's launching a comeback tour. And while Democrats are enjoying her sudden honesty about Donald Trump, nobody's letting her hide the years of conspiracy garbage and extremist nonsense that she's pushed. But the person literally dragging her the hardest, well, that would be President Trump himself. And just wait till you hear what he has to say. Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Thanks to you, we're so close. We're under 3,400 to hit that 500,000 mark. So do me a favor, hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share, because this level of stupidity, it's not stopping, and it's not stopping anytime soon. So last night, Marjorie, well, she went on 60 Minutes. And while I will definitely, I promise, show you some clips, I actually want to start with Trump's AM Truth Social post. Let me show you what it says. In it, he writes, the only reason Marjorie Taylor Brown, right, because green turns brown under stress, went bad is that she was jilted by the President of the United States. Certainly not the first time she's been jilted. Too much work, not enough time, and her ideas are now really bad. She sort of reminds me of a rotten apple. Marjorie is not America First or MAGA because nobody could have changed her views so fast, and her new views are those of a very dumb person. That was proven last night when washed-up, Trump-hating 60 Minutes correspondent Lesley Stahl, who still owes me an apology from when she attacked me on the show with serious conviction that Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was produced by Russia, not Hunter himself, totally proven wrong, interviewed a very poorly prepared traitor who, in her confusion, made many really stupid statements. My real problem with the show, however, wasn't the low IQ traitor. It was that the new ownership of 60 Minutes, Paramount, would allow a show like this to air. They are no better than the old ownership who just paid me millions of dollars for fake reporting about your favorite president, me. Since they brought it, 60 Minutes has actually gotten worse. Oh well, far worse things can happen. P.S. I hereby demand a complete and total apology, though far too late to be meaningful, from Lesley Stahl and 60 Minutes for her incorrect and libelous statements about Hunter's laptop. President Donald J. Trump. Imagine writing that on your Truth Social post. There's so many parts here that are so wrong on so many levels. It would take me hours to actually go through.
Differently? Yes, I watched many of my colleagues go from making fun of him, making fun of how he talks, making fun of me constantly for supporting him, to when he won the primary in 2024, they all started, excuse my language, Lesley, kissing and decided to put on a MAGA hat for the first time.
Yeah, there's a lot of truth to what she says in her observations about how feckless Republicans nevertheless come around to being enthusiastic Trump backers when they realized they had no other choice, and that he was not yielding control of the party in the wake of the 2020 loss, that he would, everyone in the party establishment, conservative media, everyone tried to have it be DeSantis, basically, was the alternative. And Trump said no, and then they all had to come back into the fold. She correctly describes that dynamic, I think.
But you know what? One thing Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying is absolutely true. That's why when I hear things about impeachment, I never will believe Donald Trump will be impeached because, number one, the Democrats and the Republican, neither side got a backbone, and neither side will be able to do it. And trust me, the Republicans are watching how Donald Trump is dragging Marjorie Taylor Greene, and they're petrified of him doing that same thing to them. So they're not going to go up against Donald Trump because they're scared of him. And because of that, there never going to be no impeachment of Donald Trump. You got too many cowards on both sides. You got too many cowards. So that was the interview, and he's been pissed off ever since she did this interview. But she's leaving. She's going to be gone in a few weeks. I think she's leaving, I believe, January 5th. So she only got a few weeks left. And she's out of there. So she's going to be able to say whatever she wants. And there's really not much Donald Trump can do but sit around and insult her. But, once she's gone, who the hell cares? And I'm sure once she's gone, you're going to see her probably doing a lot of news correspondence. They'll probably have her a lot on different news channels doing commentary on things coming out of Washington, concerning Donald Trump and what they're doing. So I'm sure they'll keep her busy. She was once an insider. So they'll keep her busy. She ain't going to be just sitting around doing nothing, and she don't have to necessarily 100% get out of politics. She can go back as a lobbyist. There are many that will leave Congress and the Senate and turn around and go back as a lobbyist. So I don't believe she's going to be completely gone from politics. Somehow I think she'll still be around in some kind of way. But ladies and gentlemen, we shall see what happens. Now, there is another story I've been looking at for the last few days. Ever since the incident with those National Guard members in Washington, D.C., behind the scenes, they have been stepping up ICE raids on Afghan immigrants in this country. They have been really ramping it up since that National Guard shooting in DC. So we may get into that and look at some of those raids that's going on because, it's been heavily focused on the Somalis because of all the scamming and the amount of money they have stolen. But they have really been going off on these Afghan immigrants as well. They're trying to snatch them up as quickly as possible, especially after that shooting. So we'll get into that. If not this evening, definitely tomorrow. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. And please make sure you share these live streams and even the podcast that I did earlier this morning. And make sure you also take advantage of the discounts that are there. And check out, now that I have my Shopify shop connected to my YouTube channel, just check out the products that are there. And if you do need those products, make sure you click on and get over to Shopify and make those purchases. So, y'all, I will see you soon. Enjoy your evening. Shalom, family.